Alright everyone, RJ here. Welcome back to the channel, and today I'll be doing an unboxing and giving my first thoughts on the OnePlus Nord N30. Alright, so the OnePlus Nord N30 is a phone that just released back in June of 2023, so it came out last month, and I got my hands on it here and very interested to try it out. Now, my last Nord device was the Nord N10 that I still own, and it's still a really good device to this day. So interested to see what the N30 will offer. And also, if this video is helpful, hit that like button. I would really appreciate it. Now, we're going to start off first with the specs of the phone before we get into the unboxing, just to kind of give you an idea of what this phone offers. So starting off with the display, we got a 6.72-inch IPS LCD display coming in at 1080 by 2400. It's got a 120 Hz refresh rate, 20 by 9 aspect ratio, and has 391 pixels per inch. Now, as far as the processor, this phone runs the Qualcomm Snapdragon 695 octa-core processor, because with 8 GB of RAM and storage is 128 GB. Also, it has an SD card slot for expandable storage. Now for the cameras, this phone has 3 on the rear. It's got a 108 megapixel wide-angle lens, aperture of f1.7, and a 2 megapixel macro and depth sensor, aperture of f2.4, and it says can record in full 1080 at 30 frames per second. We will verify that later on. The front camera is 16 megapixel with a wide-angle lens, aperture of f2.4, and can record 1080p at 30 frames per second. For the battery, we got a 5,000 milliamp hour battery with 50 watt fast charging. And this phone currently runs on Android version 13 with Oxygen OS 13.1. So with all that being said, let's go ahead and unbox the phone and see what we have here in the box. So pretty thick box, so we know it comes with everything that you need to get started. So right up top here, of course, a little black box. Let's just see what, yeah. So in here, we just have your paperwork and your SIM ejection tool. Nothing too exciting. Of course, got your phone here. Go ahead and dump this out here and put it to the side. And we'll see what and all else does come in the box. So, of course, you do get, yeah, a 50 watt charger in the box. So if you're going to advertise 50 watt fast charge, 80 watt, 120 watt, whatever, prove it with putting a charger in the box. I think that everyone could appreciate that and would appreciate that. And also you have the red cable that is in here pretty good. So yeah, and it is, let's see if it's type C to type C or A to C, and it's wanting to be a little bit hard to get along with here. So it is type A to type C here. Have plenty of these cables, so you won't be needing all of that. So I'll go ahead, put all stuff away, and we'll look at the phone. Okay, so first look here at the Nord N30, and yeah, it's a very beautiful phone. I love the design, and it just looks good. Now, it is very reflective and everything. I do wish they would get back to more of a matte look here on the back of these phones, because fingerprints in the reflectiveness is just, yes, kind of getting played out, in my personal opinion. Now, one thing that I noticed right away was how similar the phone looks to the Asus Zenfone 9 here, especially with the, the camera. Yeah, I mean, you can see it looks pretty similar there with those huge camera lenses back here on the back. Now, of course, you got one camera up here in the top. You got your dual camera down here at the bottom with your flash, your OnePlus logo there. Now, here on the right side, you do have your power button that doubles as a fingerprint scanner. On the top, you got a microphone. On the left, you have your volume rocker and your SIM and SD card slot. And on the bottom, you have your 3.5mm headphone jack, which is very surprising to see. Microphone, Type-C charging port, and bottom firing speaker. This does have stereo speakers as well, which is a major plus. So let's go ahead here and we'll power the phone on. Now, I will say that the front is made of glass. Not really sure what kind of glass it's made of, but the frame and back is made of plastic, which is no big deal. More durable, in my personal opinion. So yeah, I'll go ahead, get the phone all set up, and I'll come back when it's finished. So we're all set up now and ready to go. Now I will be giving you the price of this phone as well as the fantastic offer. You can get it right now somewhere in this video. So be sure to stay tuned for all of that. So let's go ahead and get right into the device. Now, you know, the feel in the hand is good. Now I do recommend a case for it. You know, just because, you know, for extra grip. It's kind of slippery and everything. So I would definitely recommend getting a case for it. Now, as far as biometrics go, you have different ways to open the phone. Of course, you can swipe up for your PIN, your pattern, or your password. But the fingerprint scanner is super quick. I mean, you can just boom. I mean, every time you tap that thing, it's just quick. Face unlock. We'll go ahead and check that out right now. And look at that. I mean, it's like instantaneous, just bypasses the lock screen, everything. Okay, now looking here at the display, IPS LCD, but this is super vivid. I mean, the screen just pops at you. It looks really good. OnePlus is doing a very good job here with their displays. Okay, 120 hertz, full 1080. It just looks good. 6.7 inch. Now you will see a few bezels on the bottom, on the sides and the top. Not a big deal whatsoever. So don't even let that bother you. Not a deal breaker, or it should never be a deal breaker, but you know. Anyway, now this phone does run the Snapdragon 695. That's been out for a little while. You know, I was expecting this new version of the Nord to have a more powerful processor, but it's got 8 gigabytes of RAM. You know, we'll see how this thing runs and holds up in gaming and everything else. So, taking a deeper look at the phone here, you know, the phone does run smooth out of the box. Of course, nothing's been installed yet. No apps, not even my SIM card's been installed yet. Now, this does run, you know, the Oxygen OS skin, but it's pretty much stock here, you know, with not much installed. Okay, except for some OnePlus stuff here. Some will say Color OS, I think it is, or Oxygen OS. Well, the phone says Oxygen OS, so I will just be going by what the phone says, you know what I'm saying? So, but yeah, anyway, let's go ahead here, and we'll pull the drop down, and you can see all of your toggles, all your modes here for your Wi-Fi, your Bluetooth, device controls, flashlight, of course, dark mode, screen recording, got NFC on this phone, and just all that stuff that you see typically on all phones. Now, this phone did get an update before I was even able to go to the home screen. Not really sure what it updated to, but it did get an update. So anyway, looking through the settings here, connections and sharing, you got your airplane mode, mobile hotspot, NFC, DNS, Android Auto, all that stuff there going on. Wallpapers and style. So, you know, this is what I do like, you know, about, you know, OnePlus, the Oxygen OS, is the customization. You know, you got a lot of wallpapers here. You can change your fonts, your icons. You can change your colors here to suit whatever you want to. I mean, if you want to change colors for this, for that, you can do all kinds of changes, which is what I like about OnePlus and their UI. There's just so many different things you can do differently with the phone, you know, and all of the customization you can do. Now you got your home and lock screen here. So home screen layout's already at 5x5, which is nice. Animation speeds, raise to wake, double tap to turn on or off the display, pocket mist touch, stuff like that. Down here, display and brightness, we can go to dark mode because it looks better on camera and looks better to my eyes, to be honest. Dark mode settings, so you can have enhanced, medium, or gentle. So gentle has more of a grayscale look here. Medium, a little bit darker, but enhanced, it just looks good. You know what I'm saying? You can adjust wallpapers to dark mode and themes and reduce contrast and yeah, just all that good stuff there. Brightness, you know, in this well-lit room, you can see how low the brightness is, and I can see the screen perfectly fine. So hopefully outdoors, this screen will also do good as well. You got screen color mode here for vivid or natural. You can cool it down or warm it up, whatever you want to do. Font size, display size, auto rotate display. Let's change this to 10 minutes. Adaptive sleep, refresh rate. So you got high and you got standard. So a maximum refresh rate of 120 for smoother animations and operations. or you can conserve battery and go down to 60. Now the little animation up here that you see is kind of silly. 60 hertz does not look like that. I mean, yeah, that's kind of false. Anyway, notification and status bar here. Status bar, you can change the battery style, notification icons, status bar icons, turn them off, turn them on, whatever you want to do. All that good stuff there. Sound and vibration. So stereo speakers, you know, like I say, all phones need this feature here where you have a different separation of ringtone and notifications. It's so annoying to have a loud ringtone but a soft notification, or vice versa. Notification is really loud, ringtone really soft. It's nice to be able to have that separation there where you can have this really low, this really high, or whatever the case may be. Anyway, you got your direct audio tuner, haptics and tones. You got more here, so you can just change your button defaults, all that stuff you can find in your settings if you decide to pick this phone up. Here in password and security, you got all your lock screen password, face, fingerprint, system security. We are currently on May 5th, 2023 security patch. So it should be getting the June, July update. They're pretty good about updating their phones and all that kind of stuff there, but typical stuff that you'll see there. We're also on Android version 13, which we'll look at here shortly. I got your privacy, location, you got your battery. So 50-watt charging with a charger in the box. Very interested to see how this is going to hold up on battery life for that 695 processor. And what's also really nice about OnePlus devices is battery health. You can check that and you can see your maximum capacity at 100%. So far for Android, I think this is the only manufacturer that actually has that on their phones currently. You got wise charging, battery booster, all that stuff there as well. More settings here for your high performance mode, optimized battery use, and sleep standby optimization, and all that good stuff there. So you got your special features here for your split screen, flexible windows, quick return, smart sidebar, kid space, simple mode, and Zen space. I won't get into all that in this video because it's going to be running longer than I want it to begin with, but you have all those features there here on this phone. Now for additional settings, all this, okay, so for your system navigation, you can have your buttons at the bottom, okay, so just your standard stuff right there, okay, or back over here to gestures, which honestly I do prefer. I don't need to learn how to use gesture navigation and all that kind of stuff there, left edge, right edge, and yeah, all that stuff. Power button. So this is one thing that I just despise on these phones nowadays, is they want to default the power button to voice assistant. You have to go in here manually and go to power menu. So when you hold down, it brings that up instead of assistant. Okay, that should be default, you know, but you know they want you using that voice assistant. I'm telling you. Screenshot, screen recording, OTG connection, system services, all that stuff that you've seen before. About device. So you can see right here, Oxygen OS 13.1. Look to Wi-Fi right now. Storage is 128 gigs. So far, 22.1 gigabytes has been used out of that. But you got an SD card slot. So for your photos, for your videos, you can just put an SD card in there, move all that stuff to the SD card, and save space for your apps and stuff like that. So Qualcomm Snapdragon 695 5G octa-core processor, 5000 mAh battery, shows your camera, and Android version 13, as you can see right there. So that's pretty much it for that. Taking a brief look here into the camera, and got your photo mode, got your 3x, and you can zoom in to 6x zoom. Okay, got your video mode here, and you know what really irks me for a phone of this price is you only got 1080p 30 frames per second, not 60 frames, nothing like that. I mean, that's just kind of ridiculous. When you tap this up here, it goes from 720 to 1080 with no way to go to 60 frames per second, which I think is unacceptable on a phone I'll just go ahead and say it costs $300. Okay, I mean it's just unacceptable in my personal opinion, but that's just the way it is, you know. All your stuff here and your settings for your camera, nothing new. I got your night mode here as well. Back here at photo, you got your portrait mode. You have more for pro mode, extra HD, panorama, macro, slow motion, time lapse, dual view video, and text scanner. All that kind of stuff there. And the front camera is going to be the same way, 1080p or 720. So I will dive more into that here at a later time. Now I will say that just by a few minutes of having this phone laying down right here, this material is going to, like I said, smudges, and it's going to collect dust. A lot of dust. That's why I say it's good to have a case on it, whatever, because I mean, this material here, it just collects everything, but still a very beautiful phone. Now, I do want to say this here. Like I said, the price of this phone, if you buy it unlocked online, $300 for this phone. Now, if you want the special deal, now, of course, I'm not sponsored by this company, nothing else. If you're looking for a new carrier or looking to port over to another carrier and T-Mobile works good in your area, at the time of this video, you can buy this phone right now at Metro by T-Mobile with a new number for $20. You heard me right, $20. Plus your plan. If you get a plan for $40, buy the phone for $20, you can walk out under $65 for this phone right here. $65. You can't beat it. If you do want to do a port over, it's free, but that's only available in store. So amazing deal. Not sure how long that's going to last, but right now it's an amazing deal. $20 for a new number right now at Metro by T-Mobile. So that's all I want to say in this video here. Stuff informative in any way, hit that like button. Any questions, leave it down below. If you're new here and not a subscriber, be sure to consider subscribing and push that bell to receive all notifications of future videos that come on this phone and others. I'd appreciate it. Y'all have a good one. Thanks for watching.